Hey everybody. So I'm going to teach you about what a 100x leader is and how we become one. So consider this free coaching for you. This is the beginning of a leadership journey. This is the beginning of creating healthy teams, healthy cultures, and heaven knows we need that right now, right? So as I go through this, just listen to. I'm going to give you a little bit of instruction perspective, and then I'm going to give you a couple tools and exercises to use and some downloadable PDFs that you can also use and apply to what we're learning here. So a 100x leader is this. 100, right? The representation of 100 stands for 100% healthy, or as close to 100% healthy as you can become. And then the X is all about multiplying that health to other people around you. We have a lot of 65 plus leaders, right? They're kind of healthy, kind of not. They're saying, hey, my door is open. I'm plussing my leadership, but not really multiplying that to the entire organization. Or we even have kind of like your 65 minus leader or divisive leader, right? Division leader, right? So what we want to do is create 100X leaders. And this is all about that, right? Your reality. So what is your reality right now? Where do you feel you are on that scale? How healthy are you overall? And then are you multiplying health? Are you just adding health, which is okay, but we really want to multiply, okay? Are you minusing from the team? Are you taking away from the team? Or even being divisive in some way, shape, or form? So that's what we want to measure, and that's kind of what we want to gauge. So I would ask you, where are you right now on that scale? What we have to do first is become self-aware. We have to understand our own communication style, our own health, how we like to be interacted with, and what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are. That way we can be empowered to help others learn the same things, right? We can gain more trust, more influence that way. So the journey that you take to become a leader worth following is like climbing a mountain. And that's what we relate this all to, is like climbing a mountain. And every leader, we say, must become acclimated to get to the next level. And I'm going to draw a little analogy for you. So this is Mount Everest. And you have to become acclimated at specific levels. Camp 1, Camp 2, base camp, right? Camp 1, Camp 2, Camp 3, Camp 4, finally reaching the summit. This is a very, very, very daunting task. It takes anywhere from 70 to 100 plus $150,000 or whatever just to make the trip. Okay, you have a years worth of preparation that you have to go through to do this. You have a tiny window of time when you can even climb this mountain. And then once you get to base camp, that's just the beginning. It could take around a month to get all the way up, right? Because you're having to get acclimated at each level. When you're at base camp and you climb up to Camp 1, you go right back down. You don't keep going. You don't go to Camp 1, camp, go to Camp 2, camp, go to Camp 3. No. You go to Camp 1, stay there for a little while, go back down. Base camp. Acclimation. Go back up to Camp 1, hang out a little while, go back down. Right? You're going so your body can learn the skill. Learn what it takes to be healthy at that level in order to go to the next level. What happens if you don't? You die. Or you just fail. You don't get to that next level because you haven't been truly you haven't gotten yourself acclimated to be at the level you need to be at in order to reach something higher. How many of us, right, try to push ourselves beyond what we're capable of, beyond what we've, trained ourselves for? Or we're trying to push beyond without being really self-aware of our strengths, right? We think that we can do more than we can, but we haven't received the right training or the right skill set in order to do that. And then this is what we want, right? We've reached the summit. We've hit it. We've nailed it, right? We've gotten to the summit. We're here, victorious. Here's the thing. You never reach the summit alone. Never. Well, I'll say rarely ever reach the summit alone. There's somebody on the other side of this camera taking a picture. And that's probably the most important person in this journey. It's this person, right? the Sherpa. The Sherpa is a group of people. It's not a job, right, necessarily. It's a group of people that have been born at this altitude level. They have been born at an altitude level that's higher than the tallest peak in the United States. They have acclimated. Their bodies are ready for this journey. And what's interesting about the Sherpa is that they are the example of a 100x leader. When you talk to a Sherpa about how many times they've been to the top of the mountain, they don't really know. When you ask them about the journey and how many people they've brought to the top of the mountain, then they can tell you, oh, I brought up 10 people last year. I brought up 50 people in my lifetime, right? That's what they get. That is their level of success. If they help somebody else reach the top of the mountain, they're the one setting the hooks. They're the one blazing the trail. They're the one setting the ladders. They're the one with the knowledge of how to get there. They're the knowledge of they have the knowledge of the signs of weakness in you, right? They can see if, oh, you're not quite ready for this, right? Or challenge you. They have enough support. They put enough support there for you to reach the top, but they're also going to challenge you and push you, drive you. If they think you're capable, they will drive and push you. Again, these Sherpas, they're locals. They're born at these high altitudes. They've acclimated to that altitude. Their success is based on your success, okay? That's the way they see things. And there's a high level of trust. How many of you would go out there and try to climb Mount Everest with a sick Sherpa, or a Sherpa that didn't have any experience, or a Sherpa that really wasn't a Sherpa? It was just somebody that decided to help you climb the mountain, and they didn't really know much about the mountain, and they maybe were not really feeling good, and they maybe didn't have the right skill set, but they said that they would do it. How many of you would trust your lives with that individual? Probably not many of you. Although we tend to think that people will just follow us. If we, as leaders, are not healthy, if we don't have the right skill sets, if we don't have the right knowledge, the right self-awareness, but yet we're demanding everybody just follow us, like, yeah, come on, just trust me. It'll work. Just trust me. And then that first hook doesn't actually catch, or that first ladder isn't really set, or that trail we're going on doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction, that is bad, right? And we do not want to be a Sherpa that is leading people up the wrong journey. So what we say is that a 100x leader is someone who is fully acclimated to do their job and also help others do their job well simultaneously. So it's not only you can do your job, not only are you competent at your job, but you are also helping somebody else do their job. And you're also being successful in both arenas. So the journey here starts with self-awareness, though. We have to be healthy on the inside. We have to be understanding of who we are as people first, as leaders, in order to reach the summit and also help others reach the summit with us. So the mountain that we conquer, it's not the mountain that we conquered. Edmund Hillary said this. I was trying to look at my notes here. It's not the mountain that we conquer, but ourselves, right? Everest is not the challenge. Most people that climb Everest don't make it either because they weren't aware, they didn't train enough, they didn't have the right equipment, or mentally they couldn't make themselves do it, right? There was a block there, and they mentally couldn't charge forward, or physically they just weren't able to do it. So we need to learn ourselves first before we can truly learn to bring others to the top. And it's a journey that takes time and intentionality. So time, and this is not something you learn in a weekend or a daily seminar, okay? You do not learn to be a 100x leader. Sorry, I'm going to turn my notifications off. My bad. You don't learn to be a 100x leader in a weekend, right? You don't learn it by buying a book. You don't learn it by going to a seminar one time. It's time, intentionality, exercise. What does it take to climb Everest? You don't just show up with the equipment, right? You don't just go to a one-day Everest seminar and learn how to climb Everest. It is something that you work on, that you trained for, that you build up to get to that point. So here we are. Welcome to the mountain. This is base camp. And what we say base camp is, it's that becoming stage. It's that phase of understanding who we are. We have to do that first. So I'm going to teach you a couple tools. But first I want to say at base camp, your job is to count the cost to prepare for the climb. That's what we're doing. Okay, think about that in your own frame of mind. We're counting costs, we're seeing where we are, and we're preparing for the next journey of what we're trying to do. We cannot give what we don't possess. On the other side, we can only give what we do possess. If we don't have the skills, if we don't have the health, if we don't have the resources, if we don't have the knowledge, if we don't have the communication capability, then we can't give that, right? We can't communicate effectively if we don't know how. We can't understand other people if we don't first seek to understand ourselves and how we communicate. So I'm asking you, what mountain are you climbing right now in your life? What are you trying to reach? What are we trying to do? And that's what I want you to think about for just a second. Where are you in your journey? What are you trying to accomplish? What does the next level look like? Is it in your career? Is it in your life? Is it with family? Is it with friends? Is it with colleagues? What are you trying to do right now to reach that next level? How healthy are you right now? So gauge that. Are you 100, 65, 80, 70? Where are you? And then are you multiplying? Are you adding, subtracting, or dividing? I want to teach you about a tool. This is called the Peace Index. This is the first tool I'm going to introduce you to in our road to becoming more self-aware. And I'm going to teach you two tools. This first tool is a little more in depth, and this one you would use for a more in-depth conversation with people. But first, I want you to use it for yourself. It's the Peace Index. First of all, right now on a piece of paper, you can write purpose, people, place, provision, and physical. Okay, that's not, it could be physical to make the p sound, right? But anyway, okay. What I want you to do is put a number from 1 to 100 next to your purpose. How fulfilled are you in life? Do you feel like you're doing what you were put on this earth to do? Right? It can be work, it can be life, it can be home, it can be whatever. How fulfilled are you? Write a number, 1 to 100, grade yourself on your purpose. People, how healthy are your relationships? Are you happy with the people in your life? Is everything good? Is everything everything's not so good? Like, what is your grade with your people index right now? Friends, family, work colleagues, boss, who is it, right? Place, how happy are you with where you live, your community, right? The region of the country, part of the world, whatever it is, how healthy are you? How happy are you in that spot? 1 to 100. Provision. How happy are you with your finances, your future preparations for retirement? Where are you in that journey? Salary, retirement, 401k, savings, education funds, whatever it is, how are you right there? Cash flow. That's your provision, 1 to 100. Physical. How healthy are you, right? And this is physical health. We talk about food, exercise, sleep, and physical intimacy, right? Are you doing well in that arena? Like, are there areas where you could really improve to help your physical health, your human interaction? What is that will help you be 100% over time? How are you doing in that realm? And give yourself a grade there. Now, what I want you to do, take all 5 of those, add them up, divide by 5, simple math, and that's your peace index. The average of all 5 of these is your peace index. Now, another thing I'll add on top of this is that one of these is going to be a lead indicator. It's not the one that you're the best at, but the one you give the most impact, the one that has the most impact, the one that you give the most weight to, okay? It could be people. If you're a real people person, that has to be good. If not, it might drag the other ones down. Okay, so I want to keep that in mind, but for just the raw number, your peace index, get that average. Now that average may be a 78, it may be a 65, it may be a 90, right? Look at where you are on there. Analyze these different parts of your life and what it's going to take in order to keep trending upwards or to stop trending downwards, right? If you're trending downwards, then let's fix that immediately. Okay, that's the first tool, the peace index. Now, what I want you to know about the peace index, again, this is a little bit more in depth. You could use the same principle with your spouse, with work colleagues, whatever, and it's a good conversation starter. Run them through this tool. Go over to your spouse, family member, roommate, colleague, whoever it is, and run them through this tool. See where their peace index is, and then kind of talk to them about it. Oh, wow, I didn't know your people was so low. Like, what's that about? Like, tell me about that. It's a great conversation starter. So this is really going to help you, but it also helps you understand other people a little bit more. So that's your personal index. Personal exercise is what's your index and what's the rating, and then also to share that with somebody else. Take some time, share it with somebody else. This is the next tool I want to teach you about. It's called the 70-30 principle. Again, this is another self-awareness tool. This one's a little quicker to kind of gauge, not so much calculation, but the principle says that we need to spend 70% of our time doing the things that give us energy, things that give us life, things that we love to do, that we were built to do, okay? That could be spreadsheets, details, organizing things, systems, processes, or that could be visionary stuff. That could be, picturing the future, building cool stuff, just dreaming up, content creation, all these types of things. Or it could be taking care of people, making sure that people are understood, making sure people are happy in the right place, that they feel comforted. There's different aspects of different people and what they thrive at. Not everybody is the same. So we need to spend 70% of our time doing that. Why not 100? Because that's unrealistic. We're always going to spend 30% of our time doing things that we're not really built for, that we're not really great at. And that's okay. We just don't need to spend a lot of time doing those things. So 70% are natural strengths. What do we call our unconscious or conscious competence? The things that we don't have to think about that we're good at, or the things that we know we're good at that are energizing. And when I say voices 1 through 3, that's something called 5 voices that I can also teach you about at some point in time. Don't worry about that right now. This is the stuff that gives you energy, okay? Now, a lot of us are 60-40, 50-50, 40-60, or even 30-70 or worse. The 30%, if we're over in that 30-70, the 30% are the learned behaviors in life. Those are the things that don't come natural to us. Those are the things that drain us. Those things that we're just not happy doing. Things that we get up every morning, we may get up in the morning and go, I got to do that thing today, right? That's our 30. It's our unconscious or conscious incompetence. The thing that we don't know or that we do know that we're not good at, okay? And these things are draining to us. We got to make sure that we're spending on most of our time in our strengths. And if we're not, why? Why are we not spending enough time doing our strengths? And why are we not communicating that to other people, right? Do we just assume it's just my job, I just have to do it? But the problem there is that if that's just your job and you're drained every day, then you cannot give. You can't multiply to other people. You cannot multiply to your spouse. You can't multiply to your kids. You can't multiply to your colleagues or your employees or even your partners, right? You cannot multiply health if you are drained. You need to be doing the things you're good at and let other people do the things that you're not so good at. This has taken me a long time to learn. As a solopreneur, I was always like, I just got to do everything. That hurts, right? Because over time, I just am burnt and I can't do it all myself. So this is a really, really good tool to use when you want to quick gauge, okay? Instead of asking your spouse or instead of asking your colleague, hey, how you doing today? And them giving you the, yeah, I'm good. Like fake answer that, well, maybe fake, maybe not, but just the quick reaction answer that they're just saying, you can actually say, hey, how's your 70-30 today? And have them go, I'm probably around a 60-40 today. Really? Interesting. Like, okay, so you're doing all right. What can I do to help you get into your 70? Right? Is there something I can do? Like, that's the conversation we want to have, right? Because then you're making me think about it. Then I'm getting a quantifiable number for how I'm doing. Now, the peace index can be the same thing. I can go, hey, how's your peace index today? And you go, I don't know, maybe I'm like 75 or so. It's hard because I got to think about 5 different components. That's easier to do when you want to sit down with somebody. The 70-30 is beautiful. If you want to just say, hey, get a quick pulse on somebody. You have a team meeting, you have a one-on-one with somebody. It's, hey, how's your 70-30 today? Like, how you doing there? And then share yours. Yeah, I feel you, man. Mine's like a 40-60 right now. This whole project we got going on is blah, 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 right? It's a great conversation starter. So this is what I want you to do. Think about your 70-30. What activities are in your 70? First of all, think about it. You got to figure that out first. What activities are in your 30? And then how's your balance and why? How's your balance right now with your 70-30 and why is it like that? Then I want you to share this with somebody else. Teach it to somebody else. Help them understand what it is. Now, this was a long-ish video. I don't usually put videos out this long, but I wanted to build this in. I wanted you to understand how you can be healthy as a leader, what a 100X leader is, and how you can start to become one. Again, it's a long journey. This is just Basecamp, right? And there's other tools within Basecamp, but I wanted to introduce you to these two. I hope they help you. Welcome to the mountain. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, bye.